Let's return now to our top story. A report has found thousands of women who weren't properly informed that the age they can claim their state pension was due to change should be paid compensation by the government. Well, joining me now is Angela Madden. She's the chair of WASPI, the group that has been campaigning for this Women Against State Pension Inequality since 2015. Angela, thanks so much for joining us. What do you make of the report?
Good morning, Wilf. I'm glad the report is finally out. This investigation has been going on for 5 years. 3 years ago, the Ombudsman found that the Department of Work and Pensions did get it wrong. They maladministered the changes to the state pension age, and now they've come out with their report saying that there has also been injustice. So we're pleased that is now in Parliament, where it should be, with the people who can actually make the decision about what happens to us next.
Are you disappointed by the call for compensation perhaps being lower than you might have expected, or are you not kind of into those levels of details in this report yet, just happy of the gist of it?
Yeah. The Ombudsman has tried to walk a tightrope between the Department of Work and Pensions, who's refused to accept his findings, and the women who have given them evidence of the injustices that we have suffered because of the DWP's lack of action. There is an all-party parliamentary group in Parliament working on state pension inequality for women, and they provided evidence to the Ombudsman's inquiry. And their view is that compensation should be paid at level 6 of the Ombudsman scale, which is £10,000 per person. And we are hoping that MPs will now follow through with what they've been talking to us about for years and actually make sure through Parliament that that happens and our injustices are recognised properly.
But the report today calls for a slightly lower level?
I think the Ombudsman has made suggestions. It is still up to Parliament and MPs how much the compensation should be.
Are you disappointed that the report itself wasn't already legally binding, and/or disappointed that the DWP didn't necessarily actively embrace the recommendations in it?
I'm very disappointed in the DWP. They seem authoritarian. They think there's only one way to do things, and they've done it, and they're right. And I think that is unfortunate. And I'm pleased that the Parliamentary Ombudsman has said, well, we think you did get it wrong. That's, quite a statement, really, on his part. I do think the Ombudsman is concerning himself with issues that shouldn't really come into his investigation, and that's the size of the payment. If Parliament were to give women level 6 compensation, that could amount to £36 billion, which, yes, is a huge sum. But the government have already saved £181 billion by increasing the state pension age for women. Had they told us when they first decided in 1995 that this was going to happen to us, we could have sorted out our own finances. We would have had 15 years' notice. They actually took that choice away from us. They gave us 2 years' notice. I got a letter in March 2012, 2 years before I expected to retire in June 2014. And that letter told me I wasn't getting my state pension until March 2020. I was absolutely devastated. I'd already given up work to spend time with my then ailing mother. I couldn't unmake that decision, and had I had the right information, I wouldn't have made that decision. And I'm just one among tens of thousands of WASPI women in the same position.
To wrap things up, Angela, I mean, you've chaired this organisation, WASPI, and obviously got to the point today where the Ombudsman, at least in gist, if not by the minutiae of the numbers, agrees with you and is calling for compensation to be paid.
Yes.
There's still quite a long way to go. I mean, how nervous are you that the compensation won't ultimately be authorised, and disappointed that the sort of fight has to continue?
I think it needs to happen fairly soon. More than 270,000 WASPy women have died since we started this campaign. There is one of us dying every 13 minutes. So the government really need to act to get this sorted out. I would imagine nothing will happen before the end of this parliamentary term, but we really need it sorted out early in the next parliamentary term with a scheme agreed that will actually finish paying all the compensation to all the women involved by the end of the next parliamentary term.
Angela Madden, thank you.